The lab is all about what's the next big idea, what is the next thing that no one else has thought of before, and it's all about anticipating what no one could imagine we need to anticipate.
I think it's going to sound corny, but I'm really proud that I work at a place where I can see an idea go from just some crazy idea that someone sketches out on a whiteboard to being able to deliver it and have something to hold in my hands to then being able to test it in crazy locations.
The team that I'm currently on, I feel very comfortable speaking up whenever I have an idea. You know, they put me in a position where I'm actually leading a project, so I feel like my ideas are valued whenever I bring them up to the rest of the team, whether it's, you know, the project lead, the complete team lead, or even the interns. I feel like the ideas are valued by everyone and can actually receive input from everyone so the idea can grow.
I feel like the area that I work in specifically really fosters new ideas. Within my section we have, you know, idea brainstorming lunches. I've never had an idea be shot down. I've been allowed to kind of have free reign in exploring different ideas. Most of the time they don't work, but I feel like we learn something from that, and that's kind of what pushes us forward in our research.
What blows my mind is just like walking around the lab. You're always meeting new people and learning about new projects, and every single one you're like, oh my god, that is so cool. Like, I didn't know we were working on that. And you can see the impact, and you can see like all of this new stuff that's never been done before, and it's happening, you know, a block down the street. Like, awesome.
When you step through these gates, you have a sense of pride in the mission and how we execute that mission and your contributions to that mission.
I feel, you know, part of a larger mechanism that is really an important force for good for the nation.
Oh, it feels great. I mean, it feels like, you know, you get up in the morning every day and you see you come to work and you know that it's going to make a difference.
It is an absolutely astounding feeling. Every day I go home with great gratification knowing how much we've contributed to the world, from a very minuscule way to a very great impact.
I think the lab is very good at nurturing that environment, at least on the teams I've been on, where you can have that collegial discussion about, you know, what is the right way to do the experiment, for example, what are the right controls you need to do. I think you have to have that feedback and that discussion to have great science.
We're best in class in a lot of areas when it comes to the DOE complex. That brings more integrity into the laboratory. And so I think just not only through working here and sharing and discussing it, it permeates through the laboratory and the people that work there for those who value it.
I think that this laboratory exists because of our integrity. Our role is to provide objective, technical, and scientific support and advice to the U.S. government. And if we don't have integrity in that, we wouldn't still be here 60-some years later.
Integrity is key, because if we are basing a whole rash of decisions on a scientific method, on research that we're performing, we don't want to have to turn around to the next moment and defend everything because we approached things in an unethical way or in a shady way. And so integrity, even at the most base layer of our day-to-day work, is important so that what we do is believable and solid.
Diversity is such a huge importance in today's workplace, and that's one of the things I really enjoy about my current team. We have people from different countries or just different creeds or things like that, but we all are working together towards a common goal. So I really enjoy being able to come and talk to people who may see the world differently than I do. That way I can, you know, learn from them and they can learn from me.
In terms of like how I feel the inclusivity in sort of my teamwork is that I understand that since they took a chance on me, that a lot of the people around me probably similarly don't necessarily fit a cookie cutter mold, and so you're sort of more open to talking to people and sort of seeing what their deal is, and then you learn that people really do come from all backgrounds, and that's wonderful because if you sort of assume that everybody around you knows a certain set of things, then you're afraid to ask certain questions, right? But if you know that everybody has a different skill set and everyone's been brought together for the same mission, then you can sort of start asking all these questions that maybe you don't assume people will know the answer to, but then it surprises you that people have the background that's necessary for them to just jump in and know something perfectly.
To me, inclusiveness here at the lab means
listening to everybody, making sure that all good ideas have a forum to be expressed.
It's refreshing to work with a diverse group of people every day, and it's inspiring too, and to see their perspective on how they attack a problem may be different than mine, and that challenges my worldview, and that challenges me to think bigger and to think differently.
It's a really good quote that I always think of in inclusiveness is, if you're the smartest person in the room, then you're in the wrong room. And I feel like the lab, you're never really the smartest person in the room, because there's brilliant people here, and also because there's always brilliant people here in a variety of different areas with a variety of different backgrounds. And so I think that's a really unique and fun thing about working here is that.
Every day is a thrill. I'm still trying to say, oh, I want to learn something new every day.
I think zeal is the embodiment of scientific nerdiness, and the fact that we get to be our true nerds here at the lab, right?
I think it's also built into just like the entire ethos of the building. I mean, you're not the only one that has that sense of zeal. I think almost everyone has that sense of zeal. So you just get caught up in this like energy for the project, the mission, the science. Everything is so exciting to nearly everybody that it's almost impossible to escape. Like, you're a part of it. It's like all encapsulating. It's wonderful, actually.
I've been on lots of teams that are really fired up doing really important work. And that makes for a great environment. It makes you want to be part of the team. It makes you want to work to develop creative solutions to these hard problems.